let's export an Alembic file. Now that we have acceptable sim results, let's go ahead and move this null right here, the combine sim, so that it is the output of this merge node, because this is where all of our sims are drawing from. I'm sorry, all of our point deforms are drawing from that node. So if we look down here, all of our point deforms will be pulling from that node. Let's just activate this and see what we get. Okay, that took a second or two to evaluate. Let's just make sure all of our buttons are in the right place. And it looks like we have the visibility of our collision object on, so let's go ahead and turn that off so that we're not misrepresenting what we have here. So we'll just turn that off. So this looks pretty good now. All right, now let's export this out as Alembic. The first thing we want to do is we have to add back that transform node, because we scaled this Alembic down so it could be in the proper world for our physics. So what we want to do is scale it back up. The problem with this is that all of the cameras I've used for my render setup and everything are using this scale here. So we'll add this node in at scaling everything by 100, but I will disable it. Okay, and then I'm just going to disable this by pressing B for bypass. And then after that, we're going to add the Alembic node. So we'll add the Alembic ROP. You want the ROP Alembic out. Make sure you set your frame range. I'm just going to say render the frame range that we have here. That's good. For our settings down here under geometry, we want to build a hierarchy from the attribute path, which is what we use to bring it in. So it just kind of helps us assemble the hierarchy, return it, restore it. Okay, under geometry, you want to, instead of deform geometry, you want to merge with parent transform. And you want to turn off use instance where possible. And any attributes you want to pass on if you want to do something later. This is super useful for passing these group nodes on. If you're going to use it later for rendering, you can dictate which pieces are which. I think it's quite useful, so I leave them in there. And then all we have to do now is save a version. So I'm going to save this as version 58. Actually, I've already exported version 58, so we'll call this one Buccaneer_simmed blended version 58. It's coming from file version 58, so I try and keep everything the same file name. And I'm going to go ahead and export this out in the background, right? Save to disk in background, and this will take a while.